Hello, new and returning Dark and Darker players. Today, the CEO of Iron Maze had an interview with the streamer OnePeg to go over some of the updates that we can expect in the fourth playtest of Dark and Darker. I will also include a link to the interview in the description below. Alright, let's hop into the video. In my previous video, I had predictions on what we could expect in the next Dark and Darker playtest, where I predicted we'd have VOIP, Bard, and some quests and lore. Fortunately, we've got the VOIP. Unfortunately, they confirmed that the Bard class and Quest and Lore will not be in this next playtest. Here's what was confirmed for the next playtest on February 6th. The CEO made a good point of saying that it's not as much juicy content this time, but they're going to be focused on a more quality of life approach. This will make it easier to onboard new people, so they're focused more on like light feature improvements and the animations and better hitboxes. Second, which I've already touched base on, is that VoIP is going to be confirmed for the next playtest. So you'll be able to talk to people in the tavern or in the dungeon, in-game, as well as your party. And it sounds like we're going to have a text-to-speech button that we'll be able to use as a hotkey as well. So really looking forward to that. The CEO touched base for High Roller dungeons. He pointed out that the High Roller dungeon didn't really provide enough value or incentives last time for people to really utilize it. So they're really going to make more incentives to go in there, and especially to get the boss and the High Roller. They pointed out that the only way to get unique items is by beating the boss, so they're really focused on making it more worth our time to go get the unique items. Next, he talked on a new experimental design that they're going to be doing, and that's going to be a solo player queue for a separate dungeon. Coincidentally, this is also the one with the cave troll that was just revealed. I don't really know how I feel about a solo player queue. I like the grind of just going into the dungeon, as it's meant to be, and trying to work it out whether you're solo or a 3-player. I do know some people like it, but I have hopes that it's going to be a pretty interesting experience. Let me know in the comments how you feel about a solo queue. I will add that the developers did not want a solo queue for the current dungeon, as it's tiered more towards teams of 3 and 16 players. So the solo queue is actually going to have its own solo dungeon, and I'm pretty sure the cave trolls are going to be specific to that. Another new confirmed feature that's going to be in the next playtest for Dark and Darker is a karma system being added. Team killing is always part of Dark and Darker, and I know there's probably been at least one of us who had a teammate just turn on them for the nice gear they had. So they're going to have a karma system, so if you have enough team kills, they'll actually color your name red. So people who try to team up with you will see that you're not so trustworthy, and will probably make it harder to team up. Along with that feature, they're going to have an in-game party finder, where you'll have an in-game chat room where you can actually inspect the other character's gear prior to going into the dungeon, and I'm pretty sure this is where you'll be able to see whether they're got the red name or not. Another feature that's going to be added in the next playtest I touched on in my previous video, and that's going to be that vendors will now sell stacked items. So no more individual one by one with the potions and the bandages, I think, which we're all looking forward to. So that covers a list of confirmed new items from the CEO that's going to be in the next playtest for Dark and Darker. Next, let's talk about what's next after the playtest for the game. So the CEO confirmed that early access is most likely now going to be late April or even May instead of early April. So I know they probably have a lot of work to do, so just really looking forward to giving them my money because this game is awesome. The CEO also hinted at a 5th playtest where they might have quests and lore available in it, so it does sound like we'll get another chance to play before the early access. In regards to what else is next, they did touch base on that there is no Bard in this playtest coming out, but it's still being worked on. And they did confirm that a new character is being worked on, the Sorcerer. So really exciting stuff there. Also with the trading post, that's looking to fix that as well. The current trading post is close to what they were wanting, but the CEO and even OnePeg agreed that it's a bit overwhelming currently, so they're working to make it more functional. One thing I really liked that the CEO touched base on was the whole aspect of how they're going about building out this game. So they, with the cave troll reveal, they actually showed like a new basement or a new cave, and everyone kind of lost their mind over a new map. But I really like his approach, where they kind of focus that it's a whole world, and they just really wanted to give players kind of a taste to let them know there's more than one location. So I know their original plan was to have like a top level where there's like trees and sky, and then like a second and a third level below. So it sounds like they're going to try and build out something where it's like a tavern, and then you can go outside and then go find separate dungeons. So pretty cool to see the future outlook and how they're thinking about it, especially when you factor in that they're planning on doing potentially like a seasons approach. So a lot of opportunity there, and just really something to look forward to. All right, so that covers all the confirmations from the CEO on what's to be expected in the next playtest, and what's next after the playtest and the future outlook of the game. If you like this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up, as it really does help the channel. And if you want to see more of my Dark and Darker content as it's released, feel free to click that subscribe button, and thank you for watching.